going to cast our minds forward to tomorrow, and we have some mouth-watering fixtures, and the first one we have to talk about is, of course, the reignition of the War of the Roses. Lancashire versus Yorkshire. Leeds United taking on their fierce rivals, Manchester United. Leeds United, 2 wins and 3 draws in their last 5. Man United, 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss in their last 5, coming fresh off a 1-1 draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I am going to throw this straight over to my friend Nick with his Man United perspective. How are you feeling about this game tomorrow?
Why is he hyping this up so much? It's little food for you, isn't it?
No. For them, man, I get it. You know, notice how he said Leeds and their fiercest rivals, Man United, not Man United.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't think that's what I said. I'm not sure that's what I said. And if you listen to a lot of your former players, including the likes of Gary Neville, he said this game is actually the fiercest rivalry he's ever played in as a Manchester United player. In terms of seeing the hatred and vitriol between the two clubs, he's actually said this is the most fierce game, and he was much more terrified even coming to than Anfield.
You don't do hate us.
And you guys don't, mate. I wore a Leeds United shirt walking around central Manchester. Some guy gets off his bike in the middle of the road, looks at me, calls me scum, and I'm not going to use the other word that he used after it. I'm not, this is a family-friendly show. But yeah, he labelled me a lot of things just for wearing a Leeds shirt, and let's just say there was a lot of tetchy moments walking around.
Yeah,
so it's not just one-sided.
Oh, no, it's not, you joke about it. It's not fully one-sided. The reality is, it probably goes Liverpool, City, and then historically, you would put Leeds third. If you're talking about in terms of like
probably put Arsenal
on the pitch,
even before them.
So if you're talking about on the pitch and what's happened in terms of the rivalries of competing for titles, you might go in Arsenal or Chelsea. But if you're talking historic, who do the fans hate the most? Probably Leeds is just about third. But tomorrow's game, I'll be honest, not feeling great at all. So
where is it, by the way?
Ellen Road.
Road.
Which, by the way, we can do this all in our thing, right? But Leeds United, every time we faced you in the Premier League, we've either spanked you or we've won. We've spanked you a few times. Scott McTominay's, you have nightmares about that guy, bro. Do you remember that? Yeah, I know you remember that. Look, put the camera on him. Put the camera on him right now. Put the camera on him. Look at him. He remembers.
Listen, mate, you don't need to bring all of this up, mate. I've seen too much of it, man. We play you at your worst, yeah? Even since we got promoted, we can beat the best City side, one of the best reincarnations of Pep City side. We can beat Liverpool at Anfield. We can beat Spurs. We can beat everyone. Just not Man U. You just always get it over us, man.
But tomorrow, you've got a better chance than you're probably going to have, not ever, but in recent times, because looking at tomorrow's game, right, let's just go through it. So, Mbumo, Ahmad, Mazraoui, 3 first team players, all at AFCON. Let me land. 3 right there, right? 3 right there. De Ligt, Maguire, 2 centre-backs, both out. Bruno, who is Mr. Captain, he's there every single game, week in, week out, not there. Kobbie Mainoo, not there. That's 7. Don't know if I'm forgetting anymore, but that's 7 first teamers, good first teamers that are all out. The only 2 central midfield options we have are Casemiro and Agate. That stinks. Let's be honest, that stinks. So we're in not great form. I know we beat Newcastle, but I don't think we were particularly good in that game either. Leeds, on the other hand, you're coming into this in pretty decent form. Dominic Calvert-Lewin banging in the goals. So if you're ever going to have a good chance of finally beating Man United in the Premier League, it probably might be tomorrow. But what I do have to say is if Daniel Farke tactically outdoes Ruben Amorim, I've had question marks about this guy for a while, but if Daniel Farke outdoes Amorim...
Did he not outdo a lot of managers? Did he not outdo Maresca? Did he not outdo Arne Slot? You want to talk about players out of the side. Yeah, Man United, you do have a lot of absences, which of course I'm very happy about. From a slightly biased perspective, one might say. We're also going to be without, Leeds, are also going to be without Ethan Ampadu, who's been our captain. He's going to be suspended for that one. That's a big one. Of course, Joe Rodon, he's been the heart of our defence. That's a huge miss also for Leeds going into this game. But as you touched on before, man, you do have a history of absolutely slapping Leeds every time that we play you, which is unfortunate, but I'm going into this one feeling differently. I didn't think Farke would ever change it up. He's gone 5 at the back. It's made us very tough to break down. Liverpool were extremely frustrated trying to break Leeds down in the week. They couldn't really create many clear-cut chances at all. And then we are dangerous on the counter-attack. I mean, Calvert-Lewin was rested specifically for this Man United game. He's going to be fresh, ready, firing on all cylinders. And he's been a man reborn over these past 7 games. Scored about 1 goal in his first 10 games and went and scored 6 in his past 7 now. Well, 7 if you include the disallowed goal against Liverpool.
Of course, he was always a big believer in Dominic Calvert.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, mate, listen. When we first signed him, as I said then, I said, listen, he's not the first name. We were linked with a lot of other great strikers. It did seem like a little bit uninspiring. He was the best striker at the club because we didn't have any great strikers. And then he'd scored 1 goal in his first 10, sorry. So I'm not going to be sat there like, oh, wow, this guy's going to win. He's going to save us from relegation, is he? And then he goes and scores 6 in his past 7. What am I going to do?
Imagine thinking DCL is not too big enough to play for little old Leeds. Little Leeds, you know.
Remember your place, mate. Remember your place.
DCL.
Mate, just because you've got a bit of oil money.
Injured all the time.
Oh, mate. Just because you've been bathing in oil for the past few years. Taking all that cashola. Remember where you were a few years ago as well, my friend.
Wow. We weren't too big enough for DCL. In fact, mate, we wanted DCL.
You want
you don't want him.
You're saying Eddie Howe is not big enough for your club after he won you your first trophy in God knows how many years.
Is that what you
know,
said?
we can both play this game.
Yeah,
he wants Eddie Howe gone, this
he
guy.
needs to go, bro.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, let him go.
All right, we'll get on to that.
I'm kidding, Newcastle.
We'll get on to that. We'll get on to that.
We will get on to that. But yeah, just to quickly go through it, can we get some quick fire score predictions from you guys? Leeds United versus Man United tomorrow.
I'm not feeling confident about the game, if I'm being honest, like I said, but I'll never predict us to lose or draw, so I'll go 2-1 United. Squeaky bum time 2-1.
Now, you know what? This game kind of reminds me, and my man to the right here will attest to this because he was in the studio when we covered the game. This has got Newcastle Sunderland kind of vibes all over it. You know when the so-called lesser team is the underdog and they're at home and it's a bit of a derby, a bit of a grudge match.
So who is the lesser team in this one,
though?
Who's the lesser team in this one, though?
Leeds. 100%.
Why is that a question? Why? God. Why is that a question?
Wait,
you said you had 18 man out. No, but come on now. Man United. I'm playing devil's advocate. You know what I'm saying? You said you had 18 man out. A way bigger team than Leeds, let's be honest.
What, with 18 players out? Or how many players?
No, I'm just saying in terms of the statue and what they've done over the years. Now, back in the day when I was growing up, this was a massive rivalry. But obviously, over the years, Leeds have fallen from grace. But what I would say is that I could just see Leeds out hustling you lot.
Yeah.
And I think if Man United, this game to me is less about tactics and more about who wants it more. And I just think that Leeds will want it more. They'll be at home. This is the first. When was the last time you played Man United at home in a Premier League game?
I'll tell you.
When we were last in the Premier League. I think I went. Was it the 4-2 I went to?
It was. No. So the last time we played you at Ellen Road was February 2023, and we won that game 2-0.
Oh, the 2-0.
That was a very different United from the one.
That was Eric Ten Hag's first year when he was doing really well.
Listen, mate,
got
it doesn't matter what United. We played the worst United. The only time we beat them is when we were in League One. So, you know.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is I think the passion and the energy, the fact that Leeds are in pretty decent form, the fact that Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who I know you was a massive fan of, he's starting to score goals. So much so that people are saying that he should be on the plane. If he carries on like this, he might be on the plane.
They were saying that about Welbeck as well, man. It's just purple patches. Really.
It is, but...
Sorry, but just on your point there, because you raised a good point. It is going to be about who wants it more, passion, etc. But for me, that's where United need to make it not about that. There needs to be a level of performance there, a level of keeping the ball, keeping Leeds quiet. Because if it does come down to passion and hard work and intensity, who wants it more, Leeds will go on to win that game. So that's where, for me, Ruben Amorim needs to do a job in preparing us correctly so that it doesn't come down to that, and it actually does come down to who tactically outdid the other manager. That's what I'll say on that.
So can we quickly get a prediction from you?
Right,
Sorry?
I'm going Leeds.
What's the score?
2-1.
2-1 Leeds.
I'm saying Man United 3-1.
3-1. And what was your
I
prediction?
said 2-1 United.
2-1 United.
What are you
it will be 2-1 United, but the proper United is going to be Leeds United. 2-1. Going to have to go with that one. Of course, let me know. We do just have a super chat about that before we do